And good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another match in Earthbound Super Series Ancient Cave 2022. On tap for tonight, we have a round one matchup of this double elimination between Wah and Ihrving. Good evening, everybody. I'm Leslie Pro, and I'll be commentating for you all tonight. What we have for you tonight is a 9-floor gauntlet. However, there's one key thing missing. Ness is not in the party. Apparently, he had to go settle it in Smash. So, it's up to Paula, Jeff, and Pooh to deal with taking care of Gygus and all that stuff. And to start off, it looks like we still have the Valentine's Day flag set active, which is a really cool touch. And our first free heal includes, well, a pair of dirty socks. Ew, somebody go do your laundry! But at least it is a free heal, although it's a bit on the slower side. It's still a free heal all the same. And our first encounter is going to be a Spiteful Crow, but the hitboxes for the swirls might seem weird. Full disclosure. Yeah, that's a thing that I ran into myself. It's just a side effect of this particular flag set. And I see that neither runner hesitating to use Freeze Alpha to clear the enemies out of their path, which is a good strategy in the early game. And I see neither runner checking the gift box that's at the end of the room. I mean, it is a long corridor, to be fair. However, it still could be a skip item or whatnot. There are a lot of phones early on in this seed. I did not see what that was that Ihrving picked up. But we have here Magnet Hill, which is another free heal, plus a chest, and that I believe was if I saw that right, a French fry pan, which is just a regular old fry pan. Still, early game, it's a weapon. It lets you beat stuff up. And on floor 1, any weapon is a good one. Ooh, that's a pencil eraser. So, since both runners took the same path, they're going to be able to take any pencil eraser skip that they come across in this seed. There are a total of 3, and they could lead anywhere between 2 to 6 floors away from the current floor. And while Ihrving finds a T-ball bat, that's not going to serve us any good purpose in this seed, because, again, no nests, so no bats. That's just going to drive our runners batty. While opting for some inventory management, gets an instant win. Very nice. As well as a bottle of water from the crows. Now, that's probably one of the better things I've seen the Spiteful Crows drop in these seeds, because that restores PP for Pooh. And I do believe we have some slight divergence here, as Wah has found his way to the Moonside shop, which does include some skip items. Oh, and remember, when you're in Moonside, yes is no, no is yes. And Ihrving's got a problem with some snails, but if you have PK Fire, this is is nothing. They just get roasted. And while not really wanting any part of any potential attack slug fight or any worthless protoplasm, this worthless protoplasm takes a while. Slugs are just annoying because they're in numbers. And yes, protoplasms are in numbers too, but the big difference is the protoplasms can call for help. We're on two different paths here. And Ihrving has found Tracy's bedroom and is using the exit mouse to go back. And goes right back into a room full of enemies. But deals with the runaway dog instead, which is just a free fight. So it looks like Wah took the path that leads forward. But hey, that's randomizer for you. On the plus side, it's very early. So yeah, it's far from over. Ihrving is making the correct plays with the item purchases while Wah has found the end of the floor. We don't know anything about the bosses here, so this could be any number of early game bosses, including some really nasty ones like Starman Jr., Mondo Mole. Both possible to show up in this spot. And there are a few that you definitely want to use a big bottle rocket on. Starman Jr. is just about mandatory. It's a normal enemy, and it's just an unassuming local guy. This is just bash or freeze and you're through to the next floor. Nothing major. Although it gives me a good time to mention one feature that's in this randomizer for this particular tournament is we've got some music shuffled in. So you might actually recognize some of the music, you might not. Some of it was remixed by a number of folks in the Earthbound community. As Wah finds a Holmes hat. So right now Wah's opened up a slight bit of a lead, but Ihrving does have a couple extra hamburgers, so that could come in handy. As for the item Wah picked up an IQ capsule, opting to give it to Jeff. I can't say I'm sure about that one, because typically, whenever I get an IQ or vital capsule, it goes to whomever has the least IQ out of the PSI users to, well, buff the stat, for lack of a better term. There has to be a reason for that. I just can't put my finger on it. And Wah is in Fire Spring, and that's gonna make this cranky lady a little extra crankier than usual, because seriously, that heat will just make anybody a grump. Ihrving's approaching unassuming local guy. Getting some smash attacks off is Ihrving, that really helps. And Wah opting to pop a quick life up alpha before picking up the magic butterfly, which great time to restore health. And Wah picks up a stag beetle. interesting swirl hitbox there. Maybe the teddy bear got the green swirl? I don't know. Either way, Wass sees some things he does not want to deal with, and that includes rambling evil mushrooms. Ugh. Just thinking about the amount of times I've gotten hosed by a party member that got mastermized in vanilla. Ugh. Not fun. Either way, Wa is at the end of floor 2, and the boss is... We have ourselves Pokies minions, for lack of a better term, as these are the enemies that show up when you visit Paula at the shed. And the spiteful crow gets plastered in the feathers by PK Thunder. One of the annoying things about this fight when you're trying to go fast is that they tend to call for help. The happy.
Hey, thanks for the good luck, man.
Now, Ihrving has found a scripted encounter, opts to take it out with a big bottle rocket. So, in terms of experience, Ihrving's definitely gonna pull ahead here. While Wa is pulling ahead to floor 3, and we've got Happy Village. Does Freestand have anything useful today? Secret herbs, bottles of water, double burgers. Nothing you can really sell, like multi-bottle rockets, coins, and whatnot. But the secret herbs really help as a revival item. Plus, if you get into a situation where you, say, have to get rid of paralysis, that'll do it. And we found the other end of the wet towel skip, and Wa doesn't have a pizza, so no skip for you. But here's a hamburger skip. We're about to go places. It's worth noting that the double burger also counts as a hamburger. And Wa is proceeding forward, so this is a floor deeper in the maze. Whoa! Jumping ahead to a boss room already. This could be scary extremely quick, folks. Okay, those question mark enemies are magic can't enemies, so that is likely, if I had to guess, floor 6 at the minimum. Maybe 7 or 8 as Ihrving is walking through the gauntlet. I think Wa is looking for an encounter to try and get either a green swirl or a single enemy. It's a single enemy, but that's a carefree bomb. This is probably one of the most dangerous enemies in vanilla because every turn they'll throw either a bomb or a super bomb, which makes it incredibly dangerous to go against. While trying to do a stutter around 2 enemies, gets caught, however. So this is gonna hurt. Wow, how did that teddy bear survive that? It took a smash for 341. And we lost a party member. So the only real option here would be to try and pray to get Pooh back or try a secret herb. But that has a 75% chance of working, which means it has a 25% chance of failing. And Ihrving is through to floor 3, and Wa has found a rabbit's foot. That is a fantastic item to equip to Jeff, because now his bottle rockets have a greater chance of not only hitting, but doing a tremendous amount of damage. Like, for reference, try using a multi... Oh, it's floor 7, and our boss is a Guardian Digger. Now, this is a case of just use freeze, move on. Not the worst thing in the world, but it could have been a lot worse. Now, back to that point about bottle rockets, Jeff, and the rabbit's foot. Equipped with a rabbit's foot, a multi-bottle rocket does a disgusting amount of damage to heavily armed Pokey, really shortening Phase 1 of Gygus. Ihrving took a different part of the warp, wound up in Winters, and now is about to pop up where Waw did. And now this is definitely floor 8. The only potential concern that I would have here if I'm Waw is running into a boss and have it being carboned off. Again, we have no knowledge of the boss list of this seed as... Ooh, that is a pizza that Ihrving found. A very good health recovery item, but it's also a skip item. So at this point in the seed, it's definitely a good point to be thorough in your checks, as Ihrving's going to take on a Guardian Digger at its vanilla spot. Gets a solidify on turn 1. Gets 2 solidifies back to back. That is really good because the Guardian Diggers hit like a truck. And Waz found a Pixie's bracelet. Ihrving found a Goddess Band, and that mole was blocking a T-Rex bat, which Ihrving cannot make any use of. And Waw has found Foresight now. There is a hint man in the Foresight overworld, which you can use to check what floor you're on, as well as the boss list. And plus, there's this guy in the back alley, which sells all sorts of stuff. Unfortunately, Waw not going to be able to use any of it. Ihrving did pop up at the back end of Peaceful Rest Valley, which is a skip. And Waw has found the backside of the Fresh Egg Monkey door, which, nope, don't have. And Ihrving's fighting the boss of floor 5, skip to 6, and that boss is Mondo Mole. And its Guardian General is the floor 8 boss, so no Doggo Seed. I didn't see anything too threatening on that boss list. And Waw has found the Skip Sandwich and Picnic Lunch Skip. That could lead elsewhere, but probably not to 9. Oh, here's a shop. So, definitely a good time to sell some stuff, like Broken Spray Can, that's 94. Not bad. Protractor's an extra $1. Now, what makes Mondo Mole so dangerous as a boss is that it's able to cast a Psychic Shield, and it hits for a lot of damage, and it looks like Ihrving's gonna go for a damage race and wins it. and Wall finds another hit stand, but having already seen the boss list, knows that he just has to go through Guardian General, which is a lot tamer of a boss for Floor 8 compared to what could be there, because there's no Ness's Nightmare, there's no Kraken. Some of the really dangerous stuff just took the day off. Now, as for Watt, he's found himself in Tucson. The big thing about this area is it's one you really do not want to see in your main path, because Tucson has 19 doors. More than any other area in the game. Searching through this area is time consuming, but it can be worth it, because you still have Bergen Park, which has a couple of shops. And there's one shop that will always sell you a fresh egg. So if that skip is near to that shop, you're able to take it fairly easily. Otherwise, raise up a chicken and free bird. Wad just came up with a rain pendant, which is freeze resistance. Not bad, but not what we're looking for, admittedly, because at the end of the day, we want resistance for a variety of spells. The kind of resistance you only get by using a sea pendant or a star pendant. Although an earth pendant can get the job done, it is risky because it is 50-50 at best. Now, in a seed like this, where you only have one dedicated PSI healer, the importance of food items in your inventory is heightened just a little bit. Because by using food items, you're able to restore health without sacrificing psychic points that you would otherwise be using for offense. But with a limited inventory, long story short, it's a balancing act that really depends on the runners. And thanks for the raid, Corinth. You're just in time to see how Earthbound Ancient Cave 2022 as round 1 heats up. And thanks for the good luck to the runners. They definitely appreciate it. As Ihrving now picks up a rain pendant at the back of Brick Road. And Wav just found a mummy wrap now. Of the items he got out of there, I would say the mummy wrap is the best one because it works like freeze. Let me keep my mouth close, maybe that'll help a little bit. Anywho, mummy wrap working like freeze in the sense that it has a good chance of solidifying an enemy. And it looks like Watt is looking to sell something. Now, loud music is a thing that can happen with Song Shuffle because there are a few songs that are really loud. Like, there's a couple that are from Shin Megami Tensei that were really loud that I experienced on my own time, so I know this to be true. Yeah, for this particular seed, I would argue that bosses are not the issue here. I believe Wa is going into Peaceful Rest Valley to check for gifts. Which is a valid strat with the pencil eraser because while I'm not sure how the gift box logic works, it's certainly something. And Wa just about triggered one of the photo spots, which, well, it would have been perfect for me to drop in a certain emote. Looks like the enemies are taking the logic of the floor from the other side, so these items aren't going to be very good. I don't think. And the game just proved me a liar by dropping a goddess band right there. Ihrving did find a coin of defense just now. The thing with the coins that you find that are equipment, you can also sell those for a lot of money. Ihrving in a bit of a bad spot here because 2 party members down. It's just Paula up at the front of the line here. And as you can see there, by equipping the Goddess Band, a member in Wa's party just gained a lot of defense. Let's see where Wa takes this. Unfortunately, Wa got caught from behind by a cave boy. These guys hit hard, and you can run into them in vanilla on your first trip to Winters. Tough encounter, especially when they resist freeze like this one does. Does not resist fire, however. In fact, I would say Cave Boy had his eyebrows burned off. Oh my goodness, all those enemies on Wa's side. What a mess. Yeah, sometimes I have to turn up my own personal vocal volume. It's just my living situation, that's all. Now, Wa taking a moment to use PK Magnet to get some psychic points back, and Omega drains 2 to 8 PP from each enemy on the field to restore your own psychic points. And Ihrving's at the back of the Forsyth Theater. And now finding the department store. You can get a lot of different stuff here in an ancient cave seed. But it really depends on the seed. And yes, you can find skip items at the department store, which really adds to the importance of checking all the shops. Oh no, was blocked. Gonna have to go through the entrance to maybe despawn that mess. Which he does. I think there's only a few entrances that Wah hasn't checked in Tucson, so let's see how this goes. There's another rabbit's foot and a flame pennant. I mean, if you want a better chance of running away from a fight, I guess 2 rabbit's foot better than 1. And Ihrving is stocking up on munitions as Wah comes up with a baddest beam. In terms of weapons for Jeff, that is his 3rd strongest. The only 2 that are stronger are the Moonbeam Gun and the Gaia Beam. And those familiar with Vanilla are probably wondering, wait, what's the Gaia Beam? Well, that is a weapon that Jeff gets when he repairs the broken antenna. It is a 1 in 128 drop from an enemy in Lumine Hall, which I want to say Uncontrollable Sphere, but I could be mistaken on that. Personally, I've never seen the item myself, so if I hadn't checked Starman.net back in the day, I wouldn't have believed it to exist because, like I said, never found it in my playthrough. Yeah, I usually run from those in vanilla because they explode. So, bit of risk, reward in that regard. And Ihrving has found 3. There's 3 gift boxes you can access fairly easy, as well as a 4th in the northwest corner near the graveyard zombie guards that I find to be particularly of interest. The reason I find it of interest is because that item spot has a logic that is apparently tied to the entrance that the zombie guards are guarding. And it's an entrance that can come from any floor in the ancient cave. So there is a risk in going for this item because you can get chased by an enemy from a later floor. Like, you want an example? You're on floor 1, you could suddenly have a Starman chasing you without warning. And yeah, the drop rate is the same 1 in 128, which is... Those drops can be really infuriating to get. Like, there's only so much time you have in a day. So, for those of you who do the 1 in 128 challenge vanilla, hats off to you. I'd be driven insane. As for the here and now, Wah has found the Tucson department store, which doesn't have the entrances that the Foreside department store does, but could still find some good stuff. Yeah, that's one I've never done personally. I've done the Sword of Kings grind. That's basically it. Did have a rare drop from a Chompasaur in one of these seeds, but it was still a cool moment. But yeah, personally, I would rather my town's department store not have fobbies, to be fair, because who knows what sort of follies they'd get into. Meanwhile, Ihrving has found mock pizza and picked up the number. Now, this could be important for the Gygus fight because the large pizza that you can order from mock pizza heals the whole party. For a lot of HP for Ness, Paula, and Jeff, Pooh, on the other hand, only recovers 6 HP. But let's be honest, sometimes you just gotta indulge on a pizza. And we got our first C pendant. Threed has a C pendant in the trash can that is south of the arms dealer. Well, southwest, but close enough. Echo, really? There's another gift box outside the hint shop that's in Threed as Wall chases down a magic butterfly. Well, that seems awfully familiar. Now, Dr. Saturn is a rather interesting full heal in the sense that it only heals up party members that have an ailment or are rendered unconscious. And that is a free phone plus ATM, a Magicant room, by the way. And both runners are in Threed, and Ihrving's about to pick up his C pendant. The question now is, who finds the Shining Spot boss first? So now we know both runners are on floor 8. The question is, who's going to break through to 9 first? Although in my experience, fobbies are pretty obnoxious when you don't have a lot of area of effect moves that do a lot of damage, which is basically what our runners are playing with in this particular seed, which makes finding things like an auto Star Master very valuable. So Tucson, Threed, and Forsyth are on the same floor. That's kind of nasty. Noir found a gold bracelet, but at this point, when you have such good equipment on your party members, you're better off selling that, because that sells for a very good amount of money. And now Wah has found the mock pizza number, so we could be seeing large pizza strats in the end game. Jury's out on that, because we're about 40 minutes in on floor 8. The real question is, where is the way to 9? Which thankfully, it's not through Carbon Dog, because that would be a big struggle. Wah has picked up a lucky sandwich. Now, this is an item that I've found very interesting from the vanilla game, as at best, it has a 2% chance of being a full HP and PP restore, which is the best lucky sandwich you can get. And what it is rolls when you pick it up. Oh, forget the hand that pets it. Carbon Dog would take the whole arm. And while able to get away from that encounter on the second attempt. Now in the Tucson Hotel at over 10,000 on hand, there is no need to get the extra $50 because it really doesn't matter at that point. Early seed, maybe, maybe not. As Ihrving has made the call to Mock Pizza to order a large. And Wah has just found a magic fry pan. And I do believe that is one of Paula's better weapons in terms of not only overall offense, but guts going up too. And Wah has found the way. And the way is littered with starmen, as is expected when you get to the end of floor 8. And if memory serves me, Magic Fry Pan is that's from Chompasaur, right? Then again, it's been a while. It's been a long time since I've played the vanilla of this game. And Ihrving just found a Saturn ribbon that is one of the best pieces of equipment on the other tab that Paula can use. Nobody else. And it looks like Electro Swoosh rolled freeze resistant on this seed. Not completely resistant, but about half. The other enemy in this formation, Kiss of Death / French Kiss of Death, very dangerous foe in the sense that it deals poison by way of the Kiss of Death. And that poison is damage over time. You do not want to mess with that. Oh, and Wah taking a very unfortunate red swirl despite being in front of the enemy. That is one of the crazy things that can happen with this flag set. You could be right in front of a foe, yet the hitbox says no. And Ihrving has turned in the pizza. But that wet towel is going to be back to 1, and Ihrving's about to go back to 3. Very briefly, I might add. Well, about as brief as picking up more secret herbs. Unfortunately, the first one did not work, the second one did, and now it's Guardian General on Wa's side. And it rolled freeze resistant. That is disgusting. But not resistant to a big bottle rocket, as down goes Guardian General. Wa will be the first of our runners to reach level 9. The gift boxes on level 9 are those you really want to check thoroughly because they tend to have some really good items. Ihrving has picked up a king banana, which at this point I don't think is going to be very important. This is a very large floor 8, worth noting, in that there are many paths to go, but there's only one correct path. And Wa gets the green swirl on the Starman and runs away successfully. Picking up a shield killer, you're not going to need that at this point, in all likelihood. And I didn't see where, but Ihrving did pick up a Franklin badge. And that is the only thing that can repel lightning in this entire game. Very helpful for Gygus, and floor 9 has the mole cave. There are a lot of item checks here, but also a lot of entrances, so this area really becomes a balancing act of checking entrances as well as just trying to fight your way through. And Wa opting to go for the entrance doorway north of the entrance, and that is an exit mouse room, which is kind of redundant because you can get an exit mouse right here. There's another doorway coming up for Wa, and that's a phone. Not terrible, but not what we're looking for. And Wa gets a green swirl. And that may be a hyper spinning robot, but we are on floor 9. The diamond enemies tend to be really dangerous here. And amongst those enemies include, but not limited to, Ghost of Starman, Evil Eye, Final Starman. Those 3 in particular are really dangerous. As Ihrving picks up a night pendant, that's flash resistance. And Wah is going to take on an Ego Orb, which Vanilla, you just use freeze twice, and it's done. Whereas in this case, Wah doesn't want to be bothered and just runs. Now this can be a particularly unfun combination because it's not the Starman, it's the atomic-powered robot. That robot has a tendency of recovering health recovering damage that you have done to targets on the other side, including itself, which makes taking it out rather difficult unless it's completely weak to freeze and its HP rolled down from Vanilla. Hungry HP Sucker and a Luxury Jerky. Personally, I like marking the center of Monkey Cave with an exit mouse for not only exploration purposes, but to get back to the center faster. Oh yeah, Jeff just got his best weapon, the Gaia Beam. Highest offensive output of any weapon Jeff can equip. Although the only other thing that he can use that does a lot of damage would be multi-bottle rockets and the heavy bazooka. And that's a one-shot. Picks up a lucky coin, while Ihrving right now would like some luck in getting off this floor. But that's Randomizer for you. Randomizer does not care who you are, how good you are, what sort of streak you're on with a particular rando, be it hot or cold. In a randomizer, anyone can win on any given day or night. And that's part of the beauty of it. While Ihrving gets a mock pizza delivery. So 2 more doors for Wah to check. That's the neighbors, which leads to, while Ihrving comes across the pencil eraser statue that's in the monkey cave. And that leads somewhere. I don't recognize this off the top. Wah finds the heavy bazooka in Onet. That is huge on a DPS level because the heavy bazooka is like using a super bomb every turn, and the ammo keeps on replenishing automatically. Very powerful item to have, be it in the rando or the vanilla game. Oh, and look, to even further add to the power level, a star pendant. That item, Major Psychic Psycho, 1 in 128 drop. And I think Ihrving is finally on the right path. So what makes the star pendant so good? Highest PSI level resistance that any one piece of equipment can offer you in the entire game. Fire, freeze, flash, as well as paralysis. It's insane how much stuff that one piece of equipment covers. And a souvenir coin just got picked up in the last remaining Onet trash can. Worth noting, this is also Central Onet, because Ancient Cave divides Onet into 3 distinct areas. Northern Onet, which is Ness's house and the gauntlet up to the meteorite. Central Onet, which is this area. Oh yeah, nice looping door game. Very original, very funny. And Southern Onet, which is beyond the police blockade, which is also known as the Road to Tucson. Also, that house that you can buy for $7,500 counts as a skip. Meanwhile, Ihrving has found an enemy that can be very difficult to deal with, and the fight can get out of hand real fast, and that's Loaded Dice. It's an enemy that can call for help every turn. The only thing it can't call for help from is another Loaded Dice. However, the enemies it calls can be pretty tough. Uncontrollable Sphere, Fobby, Carefree Bomb, just to name a few. It's a pretty wide pool of enemies. And they're basically mostly Magicant and Lumine Hall enemies. A lot of enemies that in Wah's way as he's trying to find his way to Gygus. There is a gift box in this room. It's a pretty long walk to get to it. And Wah sees the enemy and just pieces right out. Don't blame him whatsoever. And with that star pendant, Wah is looking really good for the Gygus fight, because now all 3 party members will have at least a C pendant, if not a star pendant. Both very good at stopping PSI moves. And a multi-bottle rocket. Oh boy. That is some heavy hitting offense. One-time use, mind you, but it's still heavy hitting offense that Jeff can use to unleash a lot of damage. Ihrving just found the magic fry pan. Personally, I don't think Wah wants to have anything to do with diamond enemies on this floor, because it could easily be a Ghost of Starman or a Final Starman or an Evil Eye. Those 3 enemies right there are the really obnoxiously bad enemies you do not ever want to see, because those are Cave of the Past enemies. They hit for a disgusting amount of damage and can party wipe real fast, because as good as the pendants are, they do not block Star Storm. The only thing that does is a Psychic Shield. Oh, and speak of the devil, that there is a Ghost of Starman. Either you kill it fast, or you face what was about to face, a potential party wipe. Only 128 damage to Ghost of Starman, but thankfully is able to run away from that. That is a scary situation to find yourself in. However, knowing how the enemy logic works, if you're on as you go through an ancient cave, the enemies get progressively tougher. If you're starting to run into Cave of the Past enemies, you're close to Gygus. They're just not giving Waugh a chance to use that full heal. Meanwhile, Ihrving is through to floor 9. So, as well equipped as Waugh is, Ihrving can still potentially steal this if he finds Gygus first. That's a door you just knock on, unfortunately. Yeah, in Ancient Cave Rando, the enemy spawns can be weird like that, I will admit. And what's not good for Ihrving is Starman Super and Robot are making life tough, but is able to get away. I think Waugh has concluded that the arcade is the only way to go. And and with the way the enemies are popping up, Waugh really has to be careful because you could, with this flag set, because Ness is not in the party, go for a green swirl and get a red one instead. It's something really funky with the hitbox that I think Chaz could explain better than I could. Honestly, it's something that I didn't think was possible until I played this flag set myself. But more on the bracket after the race. Meanwhile, Ihrving having a bit of trouble getting away from a big pile of puke. Fights similarly to Master Barf, but because basically that's what the enemy's designed to look like. Still a dangerous fight, because you can get all sorts of status conditions, and it hits hard too. And Waugh has run out of Onett checks, opting to go back. Crosses over. Finds another entrance, does not want to take it. At this point, I would be checking every entrance, even if I don't like the way it looks. But that's just me. Ihrving's marked the exit mouse in the mole cave, which is a very good strategy. Picks up the Gaia beam. Waugh has found himself on floor 3 of Dungeon Man. There is a bench you can use as a full heal here, but knowing the enemy spawn rates, not really worth it. That leads to another collection of doors, and Waugh checks the first one. Finds a one-way path that goes to Gygus. Waugh has found the end game. And for the register name says, what? Okay, that was a really bad Waluigi from yours truly, but either way, this is the final room of the game. You can have Cave of the Past enemy spawn here, but you can also have a master criminal worm spawn here, those enemies drop a disgusting amount of experience points. Checking equipment, passing stuff around, thinking it over, shifting items around, wants heavy bazooka in a quick to access spot in the menu. That's really important. Not just heavy bazooka, but having C and star pendants. Personally, I'd just have all the pendants equipped, but that's just me. Either way. Oh wait, Rabbit's Foot on Paula. That's another good strategy, because that'll help Paula get Psychic Shield Sigma off, because right now, it's time for the Gygus fight. Now, the big question here is turn 1. Will Gygus use an alpha or a beta? Doesn't matter, because Paula got Psychic Shield Sigma off first. It was an alpha, and Wah gets off the mummy wrap with Jeff on turn 1. That solidifies Porky, so he will not attack on turn 2. Very good strategy. As for what Wah did turn 1, that's a strat that I've used like maybe once vanilla, just goofing off. Messed around, and found out a good strat. It's the way that went. And now here comes a beta, which is going to bring down the party's Psychic Shield, but Wah just throws it right back up. That is a good name. Meanwhile, Jeff has had a major blow dealt to him from Porky. Is not gonna be able to save him or revive him at this juncture. Might wait till phase 2. Might opt to do it now. Opts to do it now. That's a beta. And Jeff gets leveled again. This time opting for the Horn of Life. I like this strategy just a little bit more because Horn of Life acts like Heal Omega, as does a cup of life noodles, and that restores all your health on revival. And Ihrving in Onet hopefully finds all the gear, because the gear is basically here as Wah is through to phase 2. Paula barely hanging on with 1 HP. Going for Brain Shock strats here without having a Franklin badge. I like this strategy because now you don't have to worry about getting killed by an unlucky Thunder Roll. Ihrving going for the item, runs into a Ghost of Starman, unable to get away. And Starstorm is that one move you just can't avoid unless you happen to be fortunate enough to put up a Psychic Shield. That was a Diadem of Kings. Yeah, very unreasonable Starman, I will agree. Wa is through phase 2. Wow, that background's like cranked up big time. Wa did not notice the pray command. It does look like Franklin Badge is in play because Ihrving picked one up. I did not see where, however. Takes 9 prays to vanquish Gygus, and time is on the final prey, but we still got a lot that can happen between now and then. Now Ihrving picks up a Horn of Life. Goes right back to the Brain Shock strats. Well, honestly, I couldn't find the warps in my seed, and that was just, yeah, not a good run, but let's focus on this run here. Right now, Wa is closing in on a round 1 victory that would propel him forward in the bracket. But it's double elimination, and with this being round 1, Ihrving would have a second chance. I'll explain it all after the race. And Wa is just 2 prayers away. As Ihrving runs into an evil eye, this is a very dangerous foe. Its glare can diamondize, it can cast brain shock, it can paralyze. Extremely risky foe to go against as Wa selects prey for the last time. That's time. Get your GGs in chat for Wa, who is through to the second round. The official racetime.gg time. One hour, 13 minutes, 24 seconds. Very well done, very well played race by Wa, who goes through to the second round. He will be facing the original champion from our first Earthbound Super Series Ancient Cave Tournament, Aurelix. Ihrving will be facing off against the loser of IQ versus Temple on the bonus bracket side of things. And on that side of the bonus bracket, I just call it that because it just sounds like a better name to me, is that on that side of the bracket, the winner of tomorrow's match between Ryko Rider and Slamfax faces Thomas. The loser of that match will take on the loser of Andy Perfect and Chargin' Charles. Gee, I wonder who he beat. While the loser of the matchup between Thomas and either Ryko Rider or Slamfax faces me in the bonus bracket. Be a very good match either way. Definitely don't want to miss that or any of the matches that are scheduled for the Earthbound Super Series Ancient Cave 2022. And Ihrving's about to find out the scary truth about Pink Cloud. Unfortunately, in this seed, there were no chickens to free. Hey, they ran away from him. Well, I guess everybody needs a full heal. So in the credits, we mention things about the randomizer. We also show various music that gets used in the seed. And like I said, some of those songs are louder than others. Just saying. Ihrving is definitely on the right path now. He definitely found the right path faster, but the Great Equalizer couldn't equalize that gap this time. But that's randomizer for you. So here's one of my favorite parts of the credits. Ancient Cave music as Ihrving has found his way to Gaius. Unfortunately for Ihrving, that is a Cave of the Past encounter that he wants no part of because that is a final Starman. And it's dropping in Starstorm Omega. This could party wipe here. That'd be very unfortunate just before Gaius. That is going to be a party wipe. Yeah, Starstorm just too strong. I just so happen to agree. That's a very tough death to take because that definitely set him back. Also, when you take a death in Earthbound, you lose half the money that you had on your possession. So, sometimes it's better to keep some money. Well, it's better to keep some of it in the ATM so you don't lose it. But that's just me. And it looks like Wah is doing something I sometimes would like to do to pass the time, and that is spot of chess, anyone? Unfortunately, Ihrving got a back attack, and that's just unfortunate to get ambushed. Especially when you're trying to get through to Gygas, you know this has to be the right way, because it is the right way, and that happens. Okay, why is Luigi sitting in a pit of enemies? I'm confused there. Opts for the goodnight bench. This makes sense. Able to slip by without an encounter. And Ihrving making a second push towards Gygas. The final room is one you definitely want to avoid encounters in at all costs, because it's always going to be a rough encounter. Ihrving going for large pizza strats here. Got a huge hit with that multi-bottle rocket. Emphasis on huge hit, I might add. That's phase one for Ihrving. Now looking for phase two. Gonna need to revive Jeff to really deal out some serious DPS here. There's a brain shock strat for Ihrving. I see, using bomb strats due to the lack of PSI for poo. Makes sense. Doesn't get as much damage as a super bomb, but it's still damage all the same. And that's phase 2 for Ihrving. Immediately jumping into the prayers. It's just Paula for Ihrving now. It basically comes down to this. Now, Ihrving should be fine as long as Thunder doesn't rear its ugly head, which it very much could. One more left. And with this final prayer, get your GGs in chat for Ihrving, who put on a heck of an effort in this particular seed. It just did not quite work out, but hey, that's randomizer for you. And he finishes with a time of 1:27:46. So to refresh, Wah will move on to face Aurelix, while Ihrving will take on the loser between IQ and... No, that's 6. That's the wrong... Yeah, that's right. He will take on the loser of IQ versus Temple. Match that is yet to be scheduled, so stay tuned for that. We do have a match tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern between Ryko Rider and Slamfax. So stick around and stay tuned for that as Earthbound Ancient Cave rolls on through through not only the rest of this month, but into the springtime as well. Let's just say we're just starting to warm up. And with that, before we wrap things up tonight, please feel free to give both our runners a follow. Wah and Ihrving, they put on a heck of a show for the both of us, as this wound up being a very good seed. Very very entertaining from both runners. I certainly enjoyed it. And feel free to give myself a follow if you feel so inclined. I too am also in the Ancient Cave tournament, albeit if I'm going to continue, I have to win my next match, but that's the nature of the beast, as they say. And with that being said, for everybody behind the scenes at Earthbound Super Series, as well as our two runners, Wah and Irving, I'm Leslie Pro. Y'all have a good night. Y'all stay kind. Y'all stay safe. We'll see you next time. Take care, y'all.